Tonight, I'm going to be drawing some character from Bear Show Yogi Bear. Used to watch that show when I was a kid. There was a live action movie. It looked alright. New Jellystones, Yogi. Don't really care for that show at all. I always just watch the originals, which I can on YouTube and other stuff. And hope you enjoyed the live stream. And gonna start off with Yogi himself. Yogi Bear didn't just have his own show. Yeah, a plethora of other shows on Hanna-Barbera. I think there was one about treasure hunting with all the other Hanna-Barbera characters in it. A long time ago. Or the Tomcat. And there was a space race one. Yogi was in it. Kind of like Wacky Races, but in space. Speaking of Wacky Races, remind me of those that DC era when they did Hanna-Barbera comic books and adapted them in new ways. Yeah, that was a huge flop. At least for me, it was. Scooby Pop good. Didn't even feel like Scooby Doo. And once again, they keep throwing Scrappy under the bus. Scrappy was a good character. I don't know why. I don't know. People started hating him. Scrappy was a good character. He not deserve all the hate he got. The her parents just didn't know what to do with him. Characters like Scrappy didn't need his own show. He'd be in small doses, shows up every now and then. Just people to make sure you acknowledge he still exists, still beloved. Nowadays, Scooby Gang doesn't even mention him at all. And there was Wacky Raceland, basically Wacky Races and Mad Max, which was obviously a bad idea. And there was the Flintstone one, which didn't really feel right at all. Hello, welcome to the stream. And there was the Jetson one. I don't even see any reviews for that. I can't find a single review on that book. Didn't really make much sense. Hello. Yes, that is Yogi Bear. I'm drawing the Yogi Bear characters in this stream. Starting with Yogi Bear himself. Yogi Bear had a lot of other shows than his main show. One of them was a show called Yo Yogi, basically showing Yogi Bear's life as a kid, and that him and his friends were mall rats. Thank you. I used to watch the show as a kid. Well, I used to watch a lot of Hanna-Barbera's cartoons. Then there was the infamous Laugh Olympics, which was funny, having all the Hanna-Barbera characters together. And it happens. Hanna-Barbera characters all together in one show. And there was Scooby-Doo, and there are many, many, many variants. Within Scooby-Doo, they should have made other different types. Like the Funky Phantom, Jabberjaw, Speed Buggy, Captain Caveman, all variants of Scooby-Doo. I think they even met a few times. I mean, that Scooby-Doo movie, Scoob, would be some kind of cinematic universe. Adding all the other Hanna-Barbera characters, like Jabberjaw, Grape Ape, Animate. Yeah, no. It was back when Saturday cartoons were on Saturdays. These Saturday morning cartoons. Oh, there were days. They're over now. Now cartoons are made by people who don't even watch them. The only way to actually get a good show is to make it yourself. Now I'm going to be drawing Boo Boo. He's Yogi Bear's sidekick. I think Cartoon Network did a little parody of him. Parody of Yogi Bear. It was a special I saw. I think it was made by the guy who also made that show, Ren and Stimpy. Hello. Watch this stream. It was a special when Boo Boo went wild. Trying to act like an actual bear. Feel free to tell me your favorite Hanna-Barbera cartoon. How I would have done a Scooby-Doo Cinematic Universe thing. I was kind of maybe thinking about doing like a Spider-Verse. The main villain could still be Dick Dastardly and a handful of other Hanna-Barbera villains. There also involve all the other characters from Hanna-Barbera. Well, a handful of them anyway. Like the Wacky Racist, Billy the Pit Stop, Captain Caveman, Blue Falcon, the Jabberjaw, Speed Buggy, those characters all teaming up to stop Dick Dastardly and a group of villains from merging their worlds together, which would also tear them apart. Kind of what happened in Spider-Verse when Kingpin tried to do that. The actions will destroy the entirety of the multiverse. Now, I'm over there taking the lead, taking their cues from Spider-Verse, since it was so popular, making movies like that now. Like with Puss in Boots, the Paranorman special, Ninja Turtles. Spider-Verse should be a formula that works. I saw even concept art for Batman Beyond animated movie like that. Love the original Ninja Turtles. Yeah, I remember them too. I remember the originals too. The original animated show. I also watched the 2003 show. I remember that one the most. One of my favorites growing up was Mighty Mouse. Mm. I remember seeing something like Mighty Mouse, but I don't remember the show exactly. I remember a show called Mighty Man and Yuck, basically a tiny superhero with an animal sidekick. It would be so ugly. He was a doghouse on his head. Anyone saw his face go into shock. Also watched Johnny Quest. I think the Herculoids, Brave Star. I can't remember a lot of those other shows. Those other shows were made for teenagers. There were some of them, but not all of them. I remember Johnny Quest was the one who inspired the Venture Brothers. You used to watch that show, but I don't really watch it no more. After the series ended, I was done. Often with shows like that or comic books. Once the series is over, I'm done reading it. Just like Naruto. I didn't really read much of Naruto, but I did read the last few chapters just to see how the series ended. And once it was over, I was done with it. I didn't care for Boruto. Next, I'm drawing. Hello, welcome back to the stream. Next, I'm drawing Snagglepuss. I'm drawing Hanna-Barbera character for your stream. Also, I remember a classic show, Speed Racer. The classic Speed Racer. That was a show I used to watch. Whoever was watching him, try watching him till more people come or don't. Well, I have a comic book. I made my own comic book. I don't actually work in the comic industry, even though I wish I would. But it's not really that easy to get in there, especially when people want to hire people don't even know how to make comic books. Hello, welcome to the stream. A lot of comic books have woke creators. Thank you. I suppose that is true. Artist rule. I'm an indie creator. I actually finally got a book published. After years of trying, I finally got my first book published. My comic book suit up at a local comic book shop. They made a deal and they're selling my book there. Not much, but it's a start. Better than nothing. I have a comic book called Suit Up. I started it and I want to create it. Took years for me to finally get the comic book drawing right. For years I wanted to make a book, but I never could get started because I didn't know how to edit it right. Only recently I finally got it working. By experimenting, then I made Suit Up. Or I honestly wanted to make a comic book to show off at the Dallas Fan Expo. Comic book convention happens every year at Dallas Convention Center. And I finally did. Showed it off, and a lot of creators liked it. Then I got my comic printed through Miximum, a book printing company. And went to Cosmic Comics, showed off my book, and wanted to buy it. My comic book is called Suit Up. I have it right here. Just right here. My comic book Suit Up. This is the first issue I ordered. I wanted to see how it looked before I made other copies. Worked out great, and I ordered more copies. I paid for 10, but it gave me 18. And I recently took them to Cosmic Comics and sold them there. Hopefully a lot of people will buy it, and even review it. Well, the series involves around a middle schooler named Kelsey Williams, their partner, Suit. Once a world-renowned superhero with beauty and stretchiness, who has been reduced to a talking suit due to an accident, destroyed her body and threw her consciousness into her suit. Once she is worn by Kelsey, the two transform into the city's newest rubber superhero duo, Spandex. Here she is swinging with the criminal right here. I worked really hard on this, and I'm glad I finally got something made. Issue 2 is almost done. And once that's done, I'm going to order through Miximum and show it off then. Anyway, back to the live stream for the Snacklepuss. Next one I'm going to be drawing is Cindy. She's a female character in Yogi Bear. Didn't really see much of her in the show. Thank you. You can buy your own copy at Cosmic Comics and Cards. It's a comic book store in the Grand Prairie area. So if you're in Grand Prairie, Texas, and you come by Cosmic Comics and Cards, feel free to check it out and check out my comic book, and feel free to review it. Tell me what you think of it. You can also read it for free on Global Comics. Just go on Global Comics, Suit Up in the search engine. My comic book will be right there. You can read it and check it out. You can read it digitally, and if you want a physical copy, you can go to Cosmic Comics and buy it. Hopefully it's still in stock. Those guys said indie books sell it fast. Not sure if mine will sell it though. At least I got it published. My mom said my grandpa was happy that I made it. When she showed it to him, he tried to take it. Thank you, I appreciate it. Remember, it's called Cosmic Comics and Cards in Grand Prairie, Texas. So if you're in that area, feel free to check it out. check out my book, and even leave reviews on it. I'd love to hear your feedback. Mm. Also, read on and Global Comics, and feel free to leave comments on it on the website. Thank you, I appreciate it. I want to see how far I can take Suit Up. I want to see how far I can make this comic book. Maybe something really good will come out of it. I mean, the creator of One Punch Man, yeah, web comic. If he can get his web comic into an actual manga, serialized Shonen Jump, an anime going into a third season, and even a video game with his comic book, his manga, that is with his terrible art, if he can do it with his bad art, then I can do it too. People already seem to like my comic book anyway. And here's Cindy. Next character I'm doing is a character named Chopper. Did really see him on a Yogi Bear show. Yeah, it can happen. Looks like you really did an amazing job at the artwork, and it's great. I'm sure to speak for it. I'm sure it speaks for itself. Thank you, I appreciate it. I worked hard on it. Took me a year to finally get it right and have an idea that's solid. I came up with lots of comic book ideas, but since I didn't know how to probably make a comic book, I often burn out on them and end up doing something else. But then then do it. Had to look up a lot of YouTube videos to find the right one. Most YouTube videos does this don't really show you how to do it properly. But right now I'm by the right tutorial that explains it very clearly. And once I get the hang of it, I finally will be able to do it. I tested it with other small stuff, and then I started with other stuff. I did Suit Up as a way to test it, and now I'm making it my full-blown series. Just like that guy who on YouTube who does that comic book Bullet Boy. You you should check out his channel too. The guy who does this comic Bullet Boy. He did a comic with his kid, and now he's rebooting it. I did a lot of drawing as a kid. I even started maybe even trying to reboot all my old stuff. Some of the stuff I never even finished. But since I'm doing Suit Up, I maybe find a way to uh, trying to think of it. add those characters and ideas I did as a kid into my comic book suit up. Kind of like maybe making my own little comic universe. Kind of like a Massiverse, the Frank Millerverse, and Mark Miller. That guy did a lot of comic books. He did that. He did Kick Ass. He did Wanted. I didn't know he did Wanted. Super Crooks, Superior, Nemesis. So many books. Jupiter's Legacy. That guy did a lot of books. Some of those I even read. He did The Boys. To be honest, I think that would be really sick. That would be awesome. Yeah, I do have lots of ideas I've done before, but never really got off the ground. I can add them to suit up, make my own little universe. For The Boys comic book, to be honest, I kind of prefer the comic book more than the show. Because that's when the show started making their own stuff for the comic book, from the comic book. Because pretty sure maybe by now it's supposed to happen that Homelanders would be happening by now. That something happens. I don't remember, but basically with him and the White House and him finding out what really happened in Black Noir. In the comic book, Black Noir was basically a corrupted clone of Homelander, made to replace him. But he did all kinds of horrible and unspeakable things using Homelander's face and tormented him for it. So when Homelander thought he did all that stuff, it made him do even worse stuff. When he found out, he went nuts. And Homelander actually died at the hand of Black Noir, but he did manage to damage him long enough for Butcher to finish him off. Yeah. They're playing a comic book like that with superheroes not being the perfect people they're supposed to be, and the superhero being even worse than the supervillains. Plenty of them like that. You get bored with them sometimes. Here's a character right here, Chopper, I think. I never really saw him in the show. I even when the Hanna-Barbera people team up. I think the next one I'm going to be doing is the Park Ranger. The one Yogi Bear clashes with a lot. Yeah, I love that take. When superheroes are portrayed worse than the villains. Yeah, there's a lot of those. I think we'll call it the Plutonian. The Boys are the big one. I can see. There's another one. Can't remember. There's another one. There was another one like that. Can't remember. The Boys, the Plutonian, Jupiter's Legacy. Oh yeah, the Invincible. I think Invincible like that. Man would definitely like that. Basically an evil Superman. That trope gets old real fast. And I'm not counting Justice, because Injustice doesn't count. Yeah, I had nothing. I know there's another one, but I can't remember what. Let me know what you think, and if you remember one that I haven't mentioned. I know there's another one out there like that. I just can't think of the name. Was it Ranger Rick? I think I could be wrong. Haven't seen Yogi Bear in a while. It was Ranger Smith. Not Ranger Ricky or Ranger Smith. It has been a while since I've seen Yogi Bear. I think I can still watch him on YouTube. Yep, it's Ranger Smith. All those, when you talk about evil variants or different Mark Miller comic books, remind me of all the time from my actual favorite comic book series, comic book companies, DC and Marvel. I mean, a lot of people even want to wish to work for DC and Marvel, but it's impossible for them to get through there. Especially what they're doing now. The only thing keep me in keeping me a little bit more interested in DC and Marvel nowadays is their absolute universe and the ultimate universe. Marvel has been doing good, and DC Absolute Universe has been killing it. Love to do renditions of DC characters with this Absolute Universe. It gives creators to really let loose. Don't have to stick to the status quo. As I got bored with it. One of my favorite eras in DC was New 52. Not just because of Super Wonder. By the way, I'm a big Super Wonder fan. Superman and Wonder Woman being together, I'm a huge fan of that. They really fit together, really. The better choice than Lois and Steve Trevor. Steve Trevor didn't really last long in DC. He only exists to either get broken up by Diana or die. That's his only purpose. And Lois is pretty toxic and annoying. She put herself in a dangerous situation on purpose. Get to meet Superman. It gets annoying real fast. Well, either way, I do have other comic books. Well, reminded me of stuff Marvel did. Like that era in DC and Marvel where they literally copied each other. I mean, DC and Marvel have been copying each other for years. But they're that certain era where they completely copy each other. Literally ripped off each other completely. There was the era when DC made certain comic books, like the titles were literally just rip-offs of DC Marvel characters. Yeah, that era when they literally ripped off their characters. It's obvious they were ripped off, like the Damage comic books. There's a character called Damage in it, who was obviously just the Incredible Hulk. I mean, DC already made their own Incredible Hulk before. His name is Solomon Grundy. Then they just made another one. It's even more of basically a huge ripoff. Then there's Sideways, who's basically a Spider-Man ripoff. And not even Black Spider. Sideways, literally like Spider-Man. Then Silencer. I think the character Silencer kind of maybe like the Punisher. Then there were the Terrifics, who were obviously just a Fantastic Four. They weren't even hiding it. They were just Fantastic Four. Plastic Man, Moon, I think Phantom Girl, bit Terrific, and Metamorpho. That was obviously the Fantastic Four. They're not even trying to hide it. Then there were the era of Marvel. Then there were the Marvel side when they ripped off DC during the Heroes Reborn event, where the Marvel Heroes World Universe got reset, and the Sword series where it involved the Squadron Supreme at the main heroes, which is pretty much Marvel Justice League, the Marvel DC heroes, Hyperion, obviously Superman, Power Princess is Wonder Woman, I think Nighthawk, or Blackhawk, whatever his name is, with Batman, Spectrum with Green Lantern, Blur is Flash. That was obvious. Too obvious. Then, with the villains in that world, they basically just made amalgams of the Marvel characters, like Doom and Juggernaut. Doom and Juggernaut, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Who else? No other ones. Oh yeah, uh, Red Skull and Venom. Shit made amalgams of their own characters for the villains. Now that era, but they completely ripped off each other. Then there was that old classic era when DC and Marvel did a crossover. Those were fun. And the Amalgam Universe. When they did the Amalgam Universe, where the DC and Marvel characters fused together and became new characters entirely. Super Soldier was Superman and Captain America. Amazon was Wonder Woman and Storm. Black Claw was Wolverine and Batman. Basically, a combination we didn't really think of. A lot of people think differently. They're also unique. I never really think that I would like to see Wolverine and Batman together, fused together. They even had their own little equivalent of Joker and Sabretooth. Fused together became Hyena. Also, there was Kingpin and Riddler, Iron Man and Green Lantern. Some fusion were obvious, like Doctor Fate and Doctor Strange. Those two were obvious. Then there was Spider-Man and Superboy, Elektra, and I think Deathstroke. I think they were it. No, it was something else. Oh, Elektra and I think Daredevil. No, Elektra and exactly. Can't remember exactly what Elektra fused with. Can't remember. It was one of the characters. I think Punisher fused with Deathstroke. I know. What was it? He fused with someone. Oh yeah, Ravager. Ravager fused with Daredevil. That was the one I was thinking of. Elektra fused with Catwoman. And the Avengers fused with Justice League. And the X-Men fused with Teen Titans or Young Justice. Can't remember that exactly. But he is fused with them. With one of them. I think Aquaman fused with Namor. That was the obvious one. Well, that was the Amalgam Universe was good fun too. I think they actually still exist, but in the Marvel Universe. I mean, I know the world in the Marvel Universe that has DC and Marvel fused together. No, that's the actual universe somewhere in the Marvel universe. Somewhere. And DC recently brought back the crossover series with DC and Marvel. They're back to crossover again. Oh yeah, and Lobo, those guys fused together and became Lobo the Duck. Be honest, that's the best thing they did with Howard the Duck in years. Anyway, here are the Yogi Bear characters all drawn up, all right here. I did good. See, we gotta end the stream right here. Hope you all enjoyed hope you all enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe my channel for more videos. Hit the bell icon and notify for more videos. Be on the lookout when I go on my trip to Bricks and Manufacturing and other stuff I do. In a few weeks, I'll hopefully be attending the Dallas Foods Fest. Tomorrow, I'm going to be going to go celebrate my comic book being published. And also, feel free to check out my community board for art and polls to vote on for the next Art Style Chronicles videos and live streams. And feel free to leave your ideas for future videos there too. I love to hear your feedback, and be sure to check out my comic book Suit Up at Cosmic Comics and Cards if you're in Grand Prairie area, Grand Prairie, Texas. And also you can read it online on Global Comics. Remember that Global Comics with a X. You look up Suit Up, you see it there. You can read it and leave feedback. Issue 2 will be almost done, and when it will, I will place more orders for it and show it off then. Thank you all, and have a nice night.